Yeah, Coach, your just overall assessment of how things have gone through 7 practices coming from the spring to now, and what you're looking forward to on Saturday in the scrimmage.
Loving the room, loving everybody in there. I like the chemistry we have, the love that the players have for each other. And Saturday, I'm looking for explosive play by the running backs.
When you look at Mike Washington, some of the numbers that he put up in offseason, what you see out on the field, how is he a guy that kind of, I know he came from New York during COVID and stuff, but he kind of slipped through the cracks and stuff when he obviously has, the chops to play in this level?
Well, I think that's what my experience with the Dolphins comes into play, where you had to do a really good job of scouting the guys that you wanted in the room that were for down the line guys, and from that you do a very thorough search on the players, like we did with him that are in the portal. No different than we did with Rodney, on the traits that you need and you're looking for in that room that's going to add diversity to the group and maturity and leadership. And through my research, that's how we came across Mike, and that's how we came across Rodney.
Is there anything now that you've been working with Mike spring and fall that maybe has surprised you about his game, or just something that maybe has been better than maybe you even anticipated when you were first starting to recruit him?
Well, I think we hit it off probably on that second day on this official visit here, where we were just talking about football, and we was on the table at lunch, and we was just talking football. Didn't have any paper or pencil, and we just drawing it, and he was able to see what I was writing. You know what I mean? So I like how he's able to visualize the game and see it, and which allows him to play faster on the football field.
Have you seen Braylon's game kind of develop, especially with losing a little bit of weight, trying to become a faster? I mean, how have you seen that manifest into a positive development?
The competition has really ramped up in our room, which has everybody playing at a high level, especially Braylon. The spring that we had wasn't what we wanted, and we sat down, we talked about it, and he knows that he has to go hard every day in practice to earn what he wants to get.
You mentioned looking for certain traits when you go in the portal. I'm curious, what traits were you looking for with Mike? Like, what did you see on film that you liked that you thought he could translate to SEC?
Speed. That's the number one thing that we want at the position, is speed, so that once we break through the hole, we can put it in the end zone. So in order to do that, you got to have speed. You got to be able to, like I said, picture it and visualize it, and think fast and play fast.
Cam Settle's name keeps getting brought up by Coach Pittman and everything. Just kind of what have been your impressions of him? What does he bring to the table? Kind of what kind of do you envision for him this year?
Well, he brings he has good football intelligence, very smart, and he's a tough player. He's a tough football player.
Kolby, of all the position groups, when we see fastball starts, your position might have the most differing stuff. What's your philosophy on how you allot the fastball reps?
So we just we switch it up on each day. So like Mike will get it on Monday, Rodney will get it on Tuesday, and then Braylon will go with the ones on Wednesday. So we just switch it up back and forth so everybody gets that opportunity, because at some point in the game, one of those guys will be in, and we may just go tempo right now, so they all have to be ready for it.
And when you go into team periods, it's the same type thing, or do more guys get reps with the ones?
Those top three guys, they all rotate with the ones, and then with the twos and threes, you go AJ, Cam Settles, and Markeelan Batten.
When people look at your group, maybe you purposely did this, but you have a lot of different body types. The big heavy hitters like Braylon, and then speed guys like Rodney. Is that kind of the makeup composition of the room?
Yes, I want diversity in the room. Got to have diversity. I don't want two of the same kind.
How do you think your running backs fared in full pads yesterday compared to previous days, what you saw?
Well, I felt like we were a little sluggish coming off an off day. You know what I mean? We wasn't as fast as we normally are, which I expected off an off day. But for the most part, we ran hard. We were tough. We scored on the first play, so I was excited.
And then about Markeelan, the freshman, what is something that stands out to you about his game, and then what's maybe an improvement?
Just his turnover is exceptional. I mean, once he gets the ball and he can get to his second gear, very quickly. He just had to learn the playbook. He came in the summer, so he hasn't had an opportunity to go through it. So like Cam Settles came in the winter, so you got the winter installed, then you have spring ball, and then you have the summer session. So that's 3 times he's heard the same information over and over and over and over again. And Markeelan is just new for him, so we'll be patient with him and let him progress as the season goes on.
Mike comes from a system where he was, kind of splitting carries, and but he had the durability all year to have a high number of carries. What do you see from him that makes him able to embrace all that contact and stay durable?
I mean, he's a very consistent young man. He comes to work every day, and every day he's making explosive runs. So that's what tells me he's ready.
And kind of in your ideal system, how many running backs do you have, like, kind of splitting carries throughout a game? Like, do you have a number that you're looking for, or is it just who has it that day?
Look, probably 3 in a given game because of all the different situations that can come up during the game. And, we design plays. We got get it 2 plays for certain players. We want Braylon in this situation. We would rather have Mike in this situation. And then sometimes we want to have Rodney in the situation. So it all depends on the situation. But as we see it now, we see those 3 guys really getting to work in the games. And then we need AJ to come along, and we need Settles to come along as well, because you never know.
Overall, what have you just seen out of Rodney and his improvement? And do you think he could be more of a spark plug speed back, or do you see him being a tempo back at times?
I think he could be a great early down red zone runner for us. So early down meaning first and second down. Get him out in the passes on 3rd and medium, 3rd and short type situations. When we're in the red zone, and if we want to isolate a linebacker necessarily when they go man coverage, we could use him for that. So he's going to be a great player for us. He's explosive. He's exciting. He brings toughness to the room. So and he's a very good inside zone runner. When he gets his shoulder square and he gets behind those blocks, he can do a great job of being explosive in the open field.
Yeah, and then just how has the competition been within the running back room over these last few days?
Great, exactly what we needed. As you can see in practice, they're all finishing 25 yards or more down the field, and that right there is allowing them to practice scoring and allowing them to practice making big plays in the game.
You mentioned scoring on the first play a minute ago. Was that a team period or fastball? What?
No, it was a live tackle period.
Live tackle period.
Mm-hmm.
So it must have been a running back. Who did it?
It was Mike Washington.
50 yards, 60. I mean, how far did he go?
What yard line we started on? It was a plus. I think it was a plus 50 run.
Okay.
So I mean, it could have been on the plus 48. Minus 48. I know it was in the end zone.
We've seen a little bit of the pass pro between backs and linebacker and such. When you guys chart it all, who's protecting the best, man, from your group?
Right now, I think Braylon is our best pass blocker. He's just so big and strong, and he's doing the right thing by getting his body in position to make the defense go one way. And right now, I would say he's our best pass blocker.
When you said we didn't have the spring we wanted, were you just referring to Braylon or the running backs in total?
Braylon. We did not have the explosive runs. We did not have the finish. We didn't have the right reads, the speed on tracks. None of that was where it needs to be. Just a total night and day difference from where he is today than he was in the spring.
What do you think was the cause of that? I mean, he dropped a good bit of weight down to 238 from the season and stuff. What do you think? Just a mindset deal?
Just maturity. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And in college, and you have to work. You have to earn what you do every day, no different than what we're doing. I'm out here trying to earn my job because I know somebody else wants to be the running back coach at the University of Arkansas. And so that's how I attack it every day. And now that he knows and understands that, I think with Rodney having a year of experience under his belt, with Mike coming in, all of them gunning for that number 1 spot, it made him realize, like, hey, it ain't just gonna be given to me. I gotta earn it every day. And now that he sees that, we're getting the Braylon that we need to have, and that's the tough-minded, battle strong, ready to go, I know what I'm doing. You ain't got to tell me twice. Attitude and mindset.
I assume a lot of that too is like your standard for him based on what you see as his potential.
Yes, Coach. I'm on him. Coach Petrino is on him. We're always sending him Twitter videos, mostly from Coach Petrino, of how we see him as a player here and what's expected of how he needs to play. So, yeah.
Rodney looks like he's put on some pounds. Is that
He's about
his size?
193, 195, so he's probably put on a good 7 pounds of muscle. But, again, he's been explosive. I mean, we've been making our blitz checks, and he's just been able to finesse his way through the line of scrimmage and open field, and he's taken to the house. The spring was really big for him. That day he had 2 40-plus yard touchdowns. I think that really increased his confidence. And once he did that, I told him, I say, whenever we're out here, we're telling our teammates what they can expect from us. And now that they see it in that light, they don't want to let their teammates down.
Going to Braylon's pass protection, was that something he was good at as a freshman, or could you see the potential there and he's kind of worked into it now?
He's always been a good protector. He's always been a good protector. He's the best at it because he's strong, big, and physical. Nobody can really get by him, and once he gets his hands on him, it's lights out.
How would you assess the way you guys did pass blocking last year during the season, just with the group you had? Was that a strength of yours, do you think, or was it something?
I do.
Yeah,
we all did a good job. JJ did a great job. DeBinion did a great job. So, and Braylon did a good job. Was in there. So I don't think we really had any issues in pass pro.
When you look at the offensive line in front of you, obviously, Carmona's moving inside, brought in a couple guys. Have you been able to notice? I mean, Mateus was in here yesterday and really talking about the improvement of that group, especially on the inside. Have you been able to notice the improvement?
Yeah, we're doing a much better job of winning the line of scrimmage, and that's huge for the run game when you can play across the line of scrimmage, and that's what they've been doing with their first step is just driving the defensive line back. So that there alone allows us to gain yards. And then once we put the speed and power behind it, we're owning the line of scrimmage.
Coach, you mentioned the spring not being what you expected out of Braylon and having to talk to him afterwards. Is there any apprehension as a coach of having those tough conversations? I mean, he's the guy that had entered the portal before, and you did have the spring portal period. Is that a concern? Is there apprehension there as a coach?
Nah, I think if you love the kid, you're gonna shoot it to him straight. If you don't care about him, you're just gonna let him go by the wayside.
And you feel like he's responded really well, through summer workouts and so far through in camp to that?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach, what have you seen from Cam Settles in his time here? What progression from spring ball to now, and what do you want to see from him before the season gets going?
I want to see him, as I told him yesterday, that he needs to train as if he's the number one guy. Because at some moment, that can happen, and I need to get ready. I'm already ready. So for him, it's training as the number one guy and just continue learning the offense. It's new for him. It's a lot of terminology, and you got to continue to progress and study on your own. Self-study is what allows you to get better.
For Mike Washington, obviously it's hard to replace a guy like Jaquindon Jackson last year, but do you feel like Washington can be that replacement and be that level that JJ was last year?
I do.
What gives you that confidence?
Just how he practiced. He's at practice every day. That's the starting point.
When you were talking about Braylon and sending him videos and things like that, is that maybe videos of other big backs that you guys have coached or motivational stuff? What is that exactly?
Yeah, so we sent videos of Mike Allstott. We sent videos of Fournette, just guys that resemble that size and how they played, that mindset and that toughness. So that's what we want from him.
Coach Petrino, I think at a recent deal, he said he didn't like to do player comparisons, but then I think he went on and said Mike Watt reminds him of Nile Davis. I was wondering if Mike or Braylon remind you of anybody, or if you do player comps.
That's a good comparison with Nile. Nile came up here this spring, so I did connect my Nile with Mike when it came up, when Nile came up for the spring. Braylon's kind of unique. You know, he's a guy that I want people to compare themselves to.